What is going on, guys? Here, it's Kyle. This video is just basically, I guess you could say, a penny for your thoughts. Um, and it's what if WCW, World Championship Wrestling? What if WCW still existed? What if they never went out of business? And well, Vince never bought them out. What would the wrestling be like? What would the wrestling business be like today? Just wonder. Now, my thoughts, memories of WCW. I absolutely love WCW. Still love them now. Even though they no longer exist, but I still love that company because WCW really paid more. My most fondest and childhood memories of wrestling as a kid was mostly from WCW. I did watch a lot of WWE too back then, but during the time when I was watching wrestling for the first time, I was like 6 years old. That was about around the year 1996. So during that time, WCW was getting hot, with the NWO, and so I was watching WCW more. I was still watching WWE, which was the F back then. I was still more watching towards WCW. And to me, until the Attitude Era kicked in, I thought WCW had the better stars, they had the better talent. I thought it was all around the better company. Until around 1999, WCW just kind of got boring to me as a kid. I was like 10 at the time, and just WCW just kind of got boring. It just wasn't the same. The belt flip flopped a lot. It flip flopped a lot around too when it was hot, but it was just different. They weren't really, I guess you could say, really building a lot of new stars. As for the WWE, you had Austin coming up and The Rock and everything else. So I really loved the WCW a lot. Until their last year, I just stopped watching altogether. It was just that bad. So I'm just saying, like, what would the wrestling business be like? In my opinion, personally, I think if WCW still existed, I don't think there will ever be a TNA. I don't think TNA would ever be a blimp in anyone's mind or come into existence if WCW was still around. I think if WCW was still around, I think WWE would still be the number one company, but WCW would still be the number two company. I just think too that I don't know if WCW was also still around. Quite a lot of the guys they have from not Ring of Honor, but TNA, I can pretty much guarantee they'd be in WCW. As a matter of fact, quite a few of them were, at least during WCW's last years, like AJ Styles and James Storms. They were in WCW during WCW's last year. They were there for like a quick cup of coffee. So it kind of makes you wonder if WCW was still around, would they be as much as big stars that they are now in TNA in WCW? At least I don't think AJ will be. AJ's probably just be a multi-cruiserweight champion. They probably never would have been a world champion in WCW if they still existed. Other things I just kind of wonder too, like certain talent we have in WWE, if WWE was not the only, I guess, say, big company around and WCW still existed, would WCW acquire Cody Rhodes? Because, Cody Rhodes has history. Well, not Cody Rhodes himself, but his father has more history with WCW than WWE. So with that connection, when Cody Rhodes been in WCW, I was trying to think of the guy's name, I can't think here. Would Davey Hart Smith, in the Hart Dynasty, would they be more popular in WCW than basically being the flop in WWE? Kurt Angle, when Kurt Angle got fired back in 2005, instead of coming to TNA, would he have gone to WCW? So just only just these multiple factors and just thinking about these multiple things. Would they would have stayed TV-14? Would they still would have gone in the direction of PG if WCW still existed, even though this would be number one, but WCW still, even though number two, but still lagging behind, but still their competition every Monday night? Would WCW even bring in the PG era? Would John Cena be the the top face of the WWE to compete with WCW if WCW still existed. So I don't know, just throwing a penny for your thoughts, guys. What would the wrestling business be like today in 2012, and what would WWE be like now, today? And also in terms of talent, do you think certain talent would still be in WWE now if WCW, World Championship Wrestling, still existed and was still a thriving, functioning company? So leave your thoughts on this discussion in the comments below. Subscribe. Peace.